Welcome to NFT Nation, the most relatable and reliable podcast about crypto and everything NFT. Today, our topic is going to be all about what is the metaverse and what's the future going to look like with the metaverse. I'm your host, Michael Wheeler, here with my co host, Alex Ferguson.
What's going on?
So, I've done a couple hours worth of research on the metaverse because, like many of the people in the NFT and crypto space, I was very curious about what the metaverse was all about and why Facebook is pretty much changing their entire business model to support the metaverse. So I've been doing the research, and we're kind of going to do a kind of like a personal conversation between me, Alex, and I, to kind of help the average listener just understand what the metaverse is. So
and I'll kind of be learning along the way too, because I don't really know that much about the metaverse. So Michael's kind of gonna sort of teach me about it and let me know stuff that he's looked up and done research on.
Yeah. So pretty much, I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of give everyone a basic explanation. I have a few notes about what I want to talk about and main points I want to hit, but to give a kind of basic definition, it's hard to exactly just give the metaverse one definition, but pretty much a metaverse is anything that people can join, create, or play virtually. So the majority of people think that the metaverse is okay, you just throw in a headset and headphones and you just play VR, like video games and chat rooms. Well, yes, that is incorporated into the metaverse, but the thing is, there's so many different parts, and you're able to hang out with friends on the metaverse. You're able to work in different environments. You're able to go on different experiences that otherwise you wouldn't be able to. And the metaverse is pretty much just to bring people together in a virtual sense. And also, the metaverse is not just VR and a headset. The metaverse is augmented reality with maybe goggles or glasses that help you see things that in reality aren't there, but with augmented reality they're placed there. And also, it's pretty much anything that ends with an R, like any type of virtual reality, augmented reality, any type of reality can be inside the metaverse. And Facebook has been saying that they don't want the metaverse just to be run under one company, which I believe is going to happen because so many companies are pretty much sprinting towards the idea of a metaverse that it's going to become diversified, and maybe Facebook may be the main platform, or maybe Meta may be the same platform. Facebook changed their name, but there's going to be many companies that create platforms, like Zoom maybe creates a business platform, stuff like that.
So you think will it just be limited to gaming, or do you think it's gonna spread out to schools and stuff like that?
Well, obviously, the main thesis of why it started was for gaming, because I remember back when I was in grade school, I would see videos of people playing with VR headsets, and VR headsets were always something that was really cool to me. But I believe that, especially with the pandemic and everyone being separated and everyone being forced to be in their homes by themselves, people were pretty much begging for any type of social interaction, and something like the metaverse has just been able to grow in popularity because of that. I mean, since people were so just pretty much just needed social interaction so much, they're willing to do something like this because it's something they can do instead of just sitting alone at their homes just trying to be safe. So I believe that, especially since there's been an increase in work from home and just the work from anywhere type of environment, yes, this will definitely grow to businesses and virtual offices. I watched a video during my research that the Wall Street Journal did, where this woman that was a journalist for the Wall Street Journal, she spent 24 hours in the metaverse. So she pretty much kept a VR headset on for 24 hours, and she had business meetings with her coworkers. She played games, she meditated, she even ate breakfast and looked at a serene background. So there's endless opportunities, but yes, back to your question, I believe that schools will integrate this, especially since if there's any college students listening to this, any high school students, we've all been in a Zoom meeting and literally just wanted to fall asleep. It was that boring. So especially I think the metaverse will allow stuff like schools and businesses to incorporate people more. So it's kind of like forced attention. Instead of just muting yourself and turning off your camera on a Zoom meeting, you'll actually be there present and you'll be able to see your coworkers and like see their bodies.
So the metaverse will just be augmented reality. Like I remember you saying, talking about glasses. So will it be able to like change what clothes you're wearing, or just something like that?
Yeah. So especially, I saw a couple of articles what Nike's trying to do. So once augmented reality is kind of incorporated with our culture, and more people are actually using augmented reality, yes, it will actually like clothes and certain items will be like incorporated in that, because you'll have your real outfit and then your augmented reality outfit, which really could be anything. And that's another reason bullish on NFTs and certain cryptos, is because pretty much your clothes in the augmented reality and virtual reality are going to become NFTs. Like you're going to go clothes shopping just like you would in real life. So I mean, especially Nike's been investing heavily in this. They did a collaboration with Roblox to create like a Nike land where they're selling like Nike clothes inside like the Roblox world, which is pretty influential.
Do you think they'll switch over to only using crypto as money in the metaverse?
I think eventually it's a possibility, but the thing is, I feel like there's more people who are willing to go to the metaverse before they even own crypto, if that makes any sense. Because just like there's more people that will be able to join a Zoom meeting than like buy crypto and look into it, I think it'll just be attached to a bank account or a credit card. I mean, yes, there'll be a lot of people in the metaverse, since that like sector or that like kind of culture around it is so heavily into like technology and crypto. Definitely, like I bet you'll be able to buy like metaverse devices and like VR headsets with crypto one day. But yeah, definitely, I think it's going to be both, because for something to grow in popularity, you can't just have crypto. You have to be able for like any regular Joe to be able to purchase it and like join.
Or what if they start their own kind of money?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, Meta or any type of company could create a currency inside like the metaverse, but that's really far away. I mean, the metaverse, that's going to happen in our lifetime. It's just we all put on AR goggles or a VR headset and join a meeting virtually. I don't think it's going to come to the point where we actually live in the metaverse. I don't even think that's like possible, because too many people actually want a real reality, because you can't really force it upon people to pretty much live in the metaverse.
Yeah, you can't really get everyone to do it either.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like when we're like 80 years old, we're not going to want to do the new technology. We're not going to want to deal with any of that, just like the people today. I mean, if I talk to anyone's grandparents, like any listener's grandparents, like there's probably a 0.001% of people that over the age of 90 that own crypto. You know what I mean? Like like no one, like you go to a nursing home and you give them an iPad and their brain explodes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like not to be like mean, but they just don't understand it. It's hard for them to grasp it, because say we're growing up with Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, we're growing up with all these social medias. If my mom gives me her Facebook account, I have no idea what it is, because I just don't use it. I'm not used to it. You know what I mean? I didn't grow up with it. So like that's what. Or you can go ahead and ask me the question before I lose track.
No, keep going.
All right. So another reason why I'm so like kind of bullish, and I think the metaverse, or I don't really know if we should call it the metaverse, because since Facebook changed its name to Meta, you can tell they're trying to run a monopoly. So I'm just going to I think it won't be called Metaverse in the future. It'll be called something else, since if a bunch of companies join. But I'll just use Metaverse in this video or in this podcast just to make more sense. But another reason I'm so bullish on this for the future is that kids nowadays are growing up like hanging out in groups online, like having parties online. Like I read this one article about how like hundreds of kids have been and especially during the pandemic, they had their like birthday parties in like their own Roblox world, and they it kind of sounds funny that like, why are they playing Roblox? That's a kid's game. Well, these kids are going to grow up and they're going to keep doing it, but on a different platform, if that makes sense. Like, these kids aren't just going to change because they got older. Like, I had Instagram when I was 11. I'm still going to have Instagram when I'm 50, unless something drastically changes, if that makes any sense. It's just the generation that's coming up right now has, I mean, we grew up with technology, but the generation below us and the generation below that, their lives are literally technology. I mean, there are kindergartners that went to school on Zoom meetings. I don't know how that is even possible. Yeah. But like, you can just tell they're used to it. That's going to be their school. Like, that's like, I remember going to kindergarten and just like pretty much just like crawling on kids, like not doing anything. But now it's their reality.
Yeah, I mean, when I think about that, I'm trying to think of all the possibilities, like doctor's visits, because I know you can do them like through the phone.
Yeah, telehealth.
Like,
Telehealth is a huge thing right now.
And then with this metaverse, I feel like if you do that, you can like see them and actually get to like explain your symptoms more.
So like, my experience with telehealth, and I think it's going to increase just the use of technology in like the pharmaceutical sector and like the doctor sectors, because with my grandma, she has Alzheimer's and she's in a nursing home now, but not to get personal or anything. But so she would have a doctor's visits online, and even though my doctor had no idea what was going on, we pretty much had to explain her what like, the doctor was saying and everything, because it's a Zoom meeting. She has no idea. It looks like a video to her. It looks like she's watching TV. So pretty much we just obviously helped her join the Zoom meeting and everything, and she was able to get prescriptions from the doctor on that through telehealth, through Zoom. And pretty much, I don't think in the last year and a half she's seen her doctor in person, maybe even in the last 2 years. So it's just kind of, because of the pandemic, it's forcing things to happen. That's another reason why it's going to force telehealth to be normal. Like, I feel like in the future, if like maybe like a child has a cold or a flu or some type of illness, instead of just rushing to the doctor, I'll do telehealth first to see if it's worth going to the doctor, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to be very big.
Yeah. I think it's a huge possibility, and it just saves doctors time. Like, so much of doctors' time is spent just checking on patients that literally just have a cold, especially like pediatricians. Like, parents just bring their kid in, they think their kid's dying, but they have like strep throat, and all they need is like medicine.
Yeah. Well,
did you like answer or ask all your questions you wanted to?
Yeah, that pretty much cleared up a lot about what I was confused about or didn't know about.
Yeah, so I took a few notes on companies that are currently building in the metaverse and investing a lot into it. And obviously, since I did all this notes, I wanted to be in the podcast. But I'm just going to go ahead, and this is just a list of companies that are investing in it. So obviously, Facebook, aka Meta, which they changed their name to. So they started off their history of the metaverse. They first acquired Oculus in 2014, and once they bought that, it was okay, virtual reality is going to make it a thing, or they're going to try to make it a thing. And they're always, I mean, Meta is going to pretty much own the virtual reality business if a company does not step in and compete with them, which I don't think they will, since Facebook's so big, and they'll probably just run ads on their own platform. There's also Microsoft, which has been investing in software that uses holograms in the AR world and reality. I wrote this down. It says the software giant already uses holograms and is developing mixed and extended reality, which is XR. So extended reality is a mix of like all of them, where you can see it's pretty much virtual reality, but you can see reality too. It's not as the same as AR. It's kind of complicated. You need to you have to see it like visually to understand, but it's just a different type of virtual reality. And Microsoft's using its applications with its Microsoft Mesh platform, which will combine the real world with augmented reality and virtual reality. So, like, the reason why businesses are going to use this for Zoom meetings is because, say you have coworkers that aren't in the office, but you are, you can be able to be in an office with people, see your coworkers that are online, and see your real life coworkers at the same time. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so like I feel like that's going to be a more reasonable use, because especially with now, there's a bunch of businesses that some people went back to the office, some didn't, so it's only going to increase the use of that. And also, this is kind of like a combination of companies, but Epic Games, especially with like their success in like the Fortnite concerts, and they already know how like selling clothes in the virtual world works, because they have so many people that buy skins in Fortnite, and it sounds like childish because like Fortnite's stupid. I mean, people just play it and they suck and they lose, but it's just like you have to understand the underlying technology. Like Epic Games owns the Unreal Engine, which kind of like runs the majority of video games now, and I believe that if there isn't a real competitor, I mean Frostbite, the platform that used to do Madden, if they may be able to compete, but Unreal Engine, since they already know how to host stuff like concerts in like a virtual world, I think they already have a step ahead of everyone. And I mean, I'm pretty sure Fortnite's hosted 3 major concerts, and I know that the Travis Scott concert, there was over 12 million users that joined it. So it's kind of like, holy shit, 12 million people when they go to a virtual concert. That means there's actual like potential in this. And also, for the last one, I would say Roblox. Since Roblox is literally based off of virtual worlds, and that's their entire concept, they already have a step ahead of each other, or other companies. So, and Roblox has been around since 2004, so they know what they're doing. They've been around the block once or twice. So, the founder of Roblox on IPO day, when they became a public company to invest in, he said he wants to thank all the shareholders for getting Roblox one step closer to the metaverse. Like, he said those exact words. So this was years ago too. I think they went public in 2018, maybe 2019. So this shows you that this is how, like, it was a couple of years ago, and he's thinking about it in the future. He knows it's going to be a thing. So yeah, that's kind of all I have to say. Like, after a couple hours worth of research, it all came into this, and I'm pretty happy how it came out.
Yeah, it's a lot of good information.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of why we're doing the podcast, is because I taught myself from doing this research. I'm teaching you at the same time, and we're also teaching anyone that wants to listen. So it's kind of like a win-win-win situation. And also, I will add one last thing before we go. Obviously, it's not financial advice because I really don't know what I'm doing. But there is a ETF called Meta, ticker symbol META, that its holdings are all the companies that are investing in the metaverse. So there's like Facebook, Roblox, there's a bunch of other technological companies. There's Apple in there because there's been rumors about Apple. There's Microsoft, Intel, IBM, a bunch of technology companies pretty much. So if you're interested in the metaverse and you don't really know where to put your money in the exact one company, give that ETF a look. It's always a possibility.
Yeah.
So do you want to close this out?
Well, you did all the research, so you can close it out.
Alright, I'll go ahead and do it. So, if you all found this like research and interview really entertaining and you learned a lot, share this with your friends and help us grow. I made a podcast Instagram for us. I actually lied in the last episode and said we had one. We didn't, but now we do. It's at stock NFT_nation_podcast. It's easy to find. It's the same logo as our logo on Spotify, and all the information will be there. And if you have any questions, feel free to DM me on that Instagram, and hope everyone has a great day.
Yeah. See you guys.